What is up, fam? We're here at the Root Service Label Showcase out here in Denver. As you can see, we're not on Zoom. We're out here.
We're
in a green room. Out of office with our street team right here.
Street team, what's up? Drew, Jackie, Alexa.
This is our Denver-based street team. Amazing. Love you guys.
Yes.
So,
No, it's a super big night. We're excited to cover the Root Service family. As you know, we've had articles, mixes, podcasts with a bunch of artists who are on the lineup here. So, yeah. And it's cool, too, because it's our first time meeting a lot of people like Danny King. She showed up, which is awesome.
yeah, she's going to be a special guest. And then we got Stryer, and we got Perry Wayne, VASTIVE. Really cool that Bear Grillz is putting on the show to showcase the work that they have. And hopefully a lot of people, hopefully they gain a lot of fans from tonight. So
well, we heard that there was already a bit of a line outside. So
we're expecting a crazy night. And we got our two girls here, Alexa and Jackie.
They're going to be our co-hosts tonight. We've actually never done this before. We've never done like in-person interviews for the podcast or any sort of like in-person mic and recording stuff. So huge shout out to these ladies. You guys are killing it. You're holding the conversation.
Says you.
Yeah. And then huge shout out to Elijah. We got to show him at least.
Behind the camera.
We got Elijah behind the cam. So, and then we got Pete. He's our.
going to be doing the recap article.
A lot of people are going to be breaking their necks tonight. So
Ooh, yeah.
we'll see you all when these ladies are interviewing the artists, and then we'll see you all out on the dance floor. We'll be headbanging and breaking rails.
Set 'em on fire. Welcome to my empire.
I actually play poker professionally on the side with music, so it's kind of fitting that whole brand thing.
Okay.
First show in Denver here, which I'm really excited about. Pretty cool to meet all these artists. Other than that, I have some stuff coming up on Wakan pretty soon.
Okay.
A collab with Taboo, and some other ones that I can't talk about too much yet, but that's the majority of stuff on the radar. I got a self-release at the end of May as well. So that's on the radar, and a couple of shows as well. Babe.
So before I did the VASTIVE project, I was a vocalist and a producer for an old band of mine. They're still going strong. They're set for tomorrow. But, you know, as of lately, especially since quarantine, I've been writing a lot more metal into my music. Primarily like 140, 150 has been kind of the BPM I've been sticking at lately. But that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Did you have like some inspiration to even start?
Like back then?
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Jason Butler back at Solar or Ice Jam in Baltimore, like 2011. And I don't know if you know who he is. If anybody's that's watching this, just watch Best of Jason Butler, and he had the most incredible stage presence I've ever saw. I mean, he was hanging from the ceilings, just screaming into the mic.
Very memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just seeing him let go of that energy, like, I had all that energy in me, and it was one of those things where it was like, cool, that's one way I can let it go.
Yeah.
And, you know, from being a vocalist, I started writing more music and things like that, and it just kind of was like the perfect storm.
I remember we first heard some of your songs at Lost Lands that Excision dropped, so that was super cool to see.
Yeah, it was really, really
How
cool.
did that feel when he dropped your song?
Being there was really crazy. Like, I got to witness it at Global Dance last July, and that was the first time I ever heard him drop like any of my music like in person, and that was just like there was like people hugging me.
Fangirling?
I was fangirling big time, yeah. My biggest inspiration is probably Corey Taylor from Slipknot. I've been a huge Slipknot fan since I was a kid. My mom made me throw out their album Iowa when I was like in 7th or 8th grade because she thought it was really dark and like scary. And I used to drum to it in the basement. I started playing drums when I was 7. So I used to try to mimic Joey Jordison's drums and his footwork and pedal work, and that's like just a huge it's just a huge part of my project is being a drummer. So like being able to like create crazy noises and have crazy drums behind it is like a huge thing for me, and it just that's the biggest inspiration that I have was definitely like Slipknot. And then like as a pop punk guy, like I just live for like Neck Deep and like Blink-182, and it all doesn't really, to a consumer or to a listener, like it definitely doesn't have, people would never notice that like that's where the inspiration comes from, but like in my heart, my mind, like I know that that's what it is. So it's definitely cool to like be in your own head with things and like put them on like pen to paper, like put them into Ableton and like and make crazy stuff. So it's been really cool to do that. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So, like, who do you get your biggest influences from? Because, like, it's, like, very, I don't know, when I listen to your music, it kind of reminds me of, you know, Illenium, maybe Slander. Like, it's kind of got those melodic vibes, but also it's very heavy. So, where do you get your influences from?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say Illenium's definitely, like, one of my bigger influences for sure. I've seen him, like, a million times at this point. Besides that, I'm really into, like, Adventure Club, obviously RJ, Bear Grillz.
So, you mentioned RJ being one of your biggest influences, and he's your manager.
Right.
So, how did you make that connection with him?
Yeah, so I originally met RJ back in 2018 at a little show at Larimer Lounge, believe it or not.
Here in
Denver.
man.
And I was like
Larimer Lounge. Was he playing? Was he
yeah,
headlining?
Yeah. So it was a free show he was doing before the double sold out Ogden, right? And I was like 3 months into producing. I thought I was sick, right? So I gave him a USB with like my song on it. I was like, yo, he's gonna love this shit, whatever, you know.
What song was it?
It was like the first song I ever finished, no joke. So
But is it released or is
No, like wait, this is like 4 years ago. It was complete garbage. But then like, long story short, that happened. Whatever, he listened to it. It was like, yo, keep working hard, whatever. Last year, 2021, I saw him post about like wanting new songs for his label. So I sent him some stuff, and then one thing led to another, and here we are.
Hell yeah.
Pretty blessed, honestly.
Yeah, there was one track that you guys have. Well, it's not. It was his Demons track, and then you
Yeah.
made a remix of it.
Right.
So I remember when we interviewed RJ on the podcast, he was saying that you guys are never going to release that track, and the only time you can ever hear it is if you go to your show or his show.
100%.
So who's going to play it tonight?
I will.
You're going to
So
play
I'm
it?
gonna be playing Sedated and Demons tonight.
Okay.
There might be a special guest out there. Can't
Might-
confirm who it's gonna be, but it might
Special
happen.
guest? Okay.
Might happen.
I want to know personally, like, what is with the ramen outfit?
So, I love ramen. First off, best. Like I eat ramen every single day, pretty much. Second, so like my name Top Brahman comes from Brahman. Like I'm from India, and they have the whole caste system there. And my family is of the Brahmin caste, and so then Brahman with Top Brahman. It's a double entendre.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I see you got the custom shoes on as well.
yeah.
Like, were those a gift or?
My girlfriend Eve. Thank you, Eve. Love you, baby.
Huge
She got
shout out.
me. Yeah.
Shout out to Eve, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, you are about to play. What can we expect from your set?
All right, so it's gonna be heavy for like the first 8 minutes, and then
Oh,
for the
word.
first 8 minutes, and then I'm gonna close off with all unreleased Top Brahman melodic.
I've been playing, well, I don't know. I started making house music like in 2016, and I kind of navigated to tear out throughout the last like 4 or 5 years.
How do you go from house to tear out?
A lot of I don't know, just like a lot of exploration, I guess.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's fair.
a lot of bad times. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I heard about your Good Vibrations EP. Tell me about that.
Yes. Yeah. Really excited for it. It'll be one of my only EPs this year. I want to keep things a lot selective and try to tell a story. So this will be kind of the first look into the actual formation of Wayne Enterprises, which is my whole branding now. That's overall where Perry Wayne is going, being the CEO of this major company that's like taking over a dystopia. I'm trying not to rant right now, but that's
Rant all you
that's
want.
basically what it is. And so this will be like a first installment to that, that will eventually lead to further EPs and eventually an album when I'm ready for that. But yes, I'm very excited for it. It comes out soon. I won't say when, because I want that
Yeah,
to be a
don't say
surprise.
when.
I
Yeah,
truly
yeah.
want that to be a surprise, but it'll be fun.
We
So.
want it to be a surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the best part. You wake up, you're like, oh, new music, you know.
What were some of your inspirations for making the EP?
Oh, so I really like film, and I really like a lot of movies. So Dune, Blade Runner, anything Hans Zimmer writes, Inception. Those are some of like my favorite inspirations. So I'll watch those movies and like rescore my intros. Like I'll rescore the movie. And I'll make that my intro for my songs.
That's so cool,
Yeah.
actually.
It's really fun. So like, because you can come up with like so many different stories from it, because you don't have the dialogue. All you have is the scenery and what you're looking at, and you can come up with so many different things. So it's amazing.
That's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
fun.
That's really original, for sure.
Oh, thank you. It's really fun. Because I like watching movies a lot, and so I can do both at the same time, make music and watch movies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I was tired with being on big labels and not getting, I don't know, I guess the love I felt I deserved. I felt like I was treated more like a money symbol more than an artist. So my agent and I got together and decided to start my own label where I would actually treat people like human beings and artists and help them grow instead of like not, basically. And I just feel like that was a big thing for me, is to, since I've been in the industry for 10 years, well, longer than that, but I've been a touring DJ for 10 years. And every couple years I see a new wave of touring DJs that come in, and I just want to be the guy who sort of helps the next wave of these artists like grow the right way. And not have expectations and, you know, things. I feel like people think that DJing is like all party, and it's not. It's a business, and I'm my own business, and the way I conduct myself and the way I do things with my peers and the people who run venues and all that stuff, it matters a lot. So I want to be able to sort of teach all the people on my label, like Digital Skies, who's playing right now. This is his first show ever.
That's awesome.
And we've literally helped him from day one to release on this label, and now he knows the steps that he needs to get to, you know, do this more often. And that is the whole purpose of this show, is that I want to motivate them. I want them to come and say, you know, whenever will I else have played for 1,800 people? No, never. This is first show. So I want to be able to be the guy that like gives them this. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars of my own money for this show. Like, it was a free show. So I just, like I said, want to motivate them to, you know, get to that next step and actually play shows and tour. So that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
How do you stay relevant? Because I would consider you an OG.
You know what's weird though? Is like, I look at like Excision and Downlink and those guys as OGs. Yeah. And I came up, like, I was out there in the crowd talking to people, and they're just like, you've been around for so long. I'm like, because I had Jeff Excision as one of my early mentors. Like, I got on the bus on his tour, and he was like, dude, it's business. This is a business.
Yeah.
You don't go out there to party. You don't go out there to get girls. You don't do this. Like, it's a business.
You had a lot of good mentors then.
Yeah, I really did, honestly. And the things like, it's hard to stay relevant, because, and when I tell all my guys on the label, the bigger you get, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because it's so hard. Like, I feel like, you know, Bear Grillz, I'm at a good level, but like, you notice some DJs like Subtronics just went from like A to Z, right? Like, he's like the big, and it's not the same formula that is for everybody. Like, what he did is not going to work for another DJ or for me or for anybody else. So it's, I guess, staying relevant is all about like being able to adapt. I've seen so many DJs in this industry not able to adapt, and then they just like trap music, for example.
Right.
Trap, when I first came out, dubstep, everyone said dubstep's dead. Like, I came out in 2013.
Yes.
So when I came out, dubstep was not popular. It was all trap. And I can think about like 10 huge trap DJs that were like bigger than I am right now, that are no longer around.
Exactly.
Because they didn't learn how to adapt after that trend of trap. They didn't know, you know, like Nightmare and Slander were trap artists originally, and like they're obviously still some of the biggest DJs in the world, because they adapted and they learned. Like, once trap kind of went like this, dubstep, it was like an X, honestly.
Right.
Like, dubstep went like this, and then trap went like that, and then it just flipped again. And now dubstep, obviously, today it's not as hot as it was 4 or 5 years ago, but it's still doing its thing. It's still doing its thing.
Still doing its space music thing.
So it's hard. It's not one formula for everybody. So that's.
So are you excited for tonight?
I am. Not for me to play, because obviously I play every weekend, but like I said, Digital Skies, his first show ever. Like, he went to Temple here to practice earlier this week.
Gosh.
And I thought like it was the cutest thing ever. I'm sorry.
Cute.
It's like so cute.
No, that's
like,
awesome.
I remember that for me, you know, 9 or 10 years ago, how nervous I would be for shows, and like to feel that again for him, it was cool. And like all the guys, like all the local guys, like Stryer, he's played shows but never this big. So he's, you know, I talk to him every day. They're practicing. They're doing their sets. Like when you do it every day, like I have for 10 years, obviously. It's the greatest job in the world, in my opinion, but it's a job to me now. You know, like
job.
Everyone asks me, like, how was Cancun? I was like, it's honestly one of the most beautiful places on earth, but going up on stage, it was like, you know, it's my job, and I had fun, but it's almost, I don't want to say another show, but you know what I mean.
I
It's
get
like,
it, yeah.
But for them, this is so new, and it's that is, I think, the greatest reward for me with the label is that I'm sort of starting back at zero with all of them and helping them grow like I did, because I look
Kind
back.
of nostalgic, huh?
Yeah, I look back when I was their age. I honestly just don't know how I got here.
Right.
Like, it's just like 9 years went like that, and I don't know what I did to get here, but at the same time, I'm trying to like help them get to that point.